evening. Thanks for joining us. Thunder Bay Fire Rescue were called to reports of a house fire in the 300 block of Ogden Street just before 11 o'clock this morning. Upon arriving, crews found smoke coming from a second-story window. Firefighters entered the building and quickly extinguished the fire, which was contained to a bedroom. There was some smoke and heat damage to the rest of the second floor. All occupants managed to get out of the house, but 2 pets weren't as lucky. It is believed that a burning candle was the cause. Well, the weather these days isn't the only thing that appears to be freezing up here in northwestern Ontario. Youth volunteers from the Northwest Regional Youth Coalition are here in Thunder Bay attempting to freeze the tobacco industry from selling flavored products not only in our city but across the country. Mike Albanese met with some of the youth and has that story.
This might look like your typical Saturday spent at the mall. However, it's rather unusual to see someone dressed like this. The reason this masked person is running around is the exact reason over 20 youth from the Northwest Regional Youth Coalition are in town. These volunteers visited Intercity Shopping Center armed with petitions, palm cards, and lots of free giveaways. It's all in an effort to carry out a street marketing event that helps raise awareness of the tobacco industry's moves and motivations for selling flavored products.
I feel that if tobacco was a company that had just started recently, then it would be an illegal company, just because it's the only company left in the world where when you use their product as intended, it will kill you. And it's kind of ridiculous that it's still legal when you have other forms of drugs and other illegal substances that have been banned and are heavily regulated.
According to a recent study released by the Propel Center for Population Health Benefits, more than 52% of high school tobacco users said they had tried candy-flavored tobacco in the past 30 days.
We have a petition to the House of Commons, and we're looking to gain support on our petition to ban all flavored tobacco products in Canada. We currently have 8,000 signatures, and when it gets to probably somewhere around 10,000, we will ask an MP to present it in the House of Commons and hope for legislation to follow.
The youth here are hoping that their message begins to move across the country. Anyone looking to learn more about the movement can visit freezetheindustry.com. Mike Albanese, TBT News.
The mayor of Greenstone doesn't think a different route into the Ring of Fire would negatively impact his municipality. Cliffs Natural Resources was the key to a proposed north-south route. That would have gone right through a number of communities in Greenstone. But Cliffs has put an indefinite halt on its proposed chromite project. An east-west road is now before regulators following the submission of an environmental assessment by Noront Resources. Rather than running through south from the Ring of Fire to Greenstone, Norront's all-season road would travel through Pickle Lake. The company proposes locating a transload facility proposed near Savant Lake. Mayor Ron Beaulieu feels it's possible to have both the east-west and the north-south transportation networks.
At the end of the day, I could see a loop there. I could see that whole loop, and that would develop all of northwestern Ontario. That's been talked about now since the discussion of the Ring of Fire. So it's all positive.
Noront Resources feels their proposed Eagle's Nest mine will be the first to move ahead in the Ring of Fire. Mining Minister Michael Gravel says he's excited to see Noront moving ahead, but says no preferred route has been selected.
Rather than speculate on one route being chosen over another, we're determined to make the best decision, the right decision, the one that will allow the project to move forward. And clearly other factors at play are how can we make sure that this is a significant value-added benefit to the First Nations? How can we look at perhaps having community access in terms of infrastructure to First Nations?
Gravel says one of the reasons a Ring of Fire Development Corporation is so important is to have all of the players involved to discuss the best transportation link. He's both a family therapist and a professor of social work at Dalhousie University. Michael Ungar was in Thunder Bay to meet with Lakehead District School Board teachers to talk about looking at how to boost the resilience of local students. Whether it be challenges learning or being exposed to social problems, Unger says there's a real push to address the mental health needs of our kids. He says schools are a natural place to do that because it's where they spend the majority of their day. He adds that a lot of the time we are focused on physical health, but mental health situations are continually growing, and it's important to help kids through this.
They might shut down or hide how traumatizing the events can be in their lives. So it's incremental, which really means that, as educators and guidance people, but also parents, should be really trying to maintain those relationships with their kids while they're going through those periods.
Ungar has written 11 books over the past decade and was the recipient of the 2012 Canadian Association of Social Workers National Distinguished Service Award. It was a first-time event here in the city, and the name might throw you for a bit of a loop. January is a spin-off of Movember. 10 ladies from Thunder Bay decided to give up shaving their legs for the entire month of January. The event brought in thousands of dollars in donations. The proceeds go directly to supporting brain cancer research for the Canadian Cancer Society. Joanne Roberto lost her daughter Natasha to brain cancer in December 2012. She says the event was started to raise funds in her memory.
We've had one person donated $500. It's been nuts. We've had some of my daughter's friends from England donated, her cousin from France, her aunt from France and her cousin from Belgium donated, people out west donated, people out east donated. So it's not just a Thunder Bay thing, it is an international thing as far as I know.
Roberto says the grand total raised was $8,185. The City of Thunder Bay has proposed a tax levy increase of 3.45%. So for our TB News Watch question of the day, we wanted to talk to the local residents to see what they think.
I'd be against it.
Why?
Just because it's a hike. People in general don't like hikes.
Well, that property tax still paying for services, so I think it's a reasonable increase.
It doesn't sound like a big increase that I think would affect too many people too badly.
I mean, clearly they're having to find money somewhere, so I mean, rather than cutting transit service, why not look at a tax increase? I think that's maybe something we need. Policing, I think could definitely use more funds.
I don't think so. You can't just pull that out of nowhere and just say that we're going to charge you this much more.
It is very unusual, and it should be reduced. It is economy is not as good. People are having trouble.
Many glorious and heartbreaking Olympic memories are sealed in time through the work of a good photographer. They capture the gold medal wins, the devastating losses, and the unexpected moments. Only a handful work directly for the International Olympic Committee. CBC Arts reporter Zalika Nathu braved the cold with one of them, who made a stop in Toronto before heading to his latest assignment in Russia.
Oh. Nice.
Even as a spectator at this charity hockey game, David Burnett can't help but snap a few shots. He rarely leaves home without a camera. Burnett is one of only 6 official photographers for the International Olympic Committee. He's been to Salt Lake City, Athens, Beijing, London, and he has a confession to make.
Honestly, if you're looking for the winner picture of the gold medal match, I'm not your guy.
What? What do you mean?
As much as anything, that is really, that ambience and that feeling of what it's like to be at the Olympics is something that's very exciting, and I try and bring that to some of my pictures. And it isn't necessarily just about who won the gold medal, it's about what took place.
And in 5th place is Canada's Lynn Williams.
His most iconic Olympic photo to this day proves that. Snapped during the 1984 Summer Games in LA during the 3,000-meter women's final. American Mary Decker was poised to take the gold.
Mary Decker has gone down.
There was a collision, she fell down, she was out of the race, and it was just this tragic moment. And she did it right in front of where I was.
The photo dominated headlines and is still one of the defining moments of those games. But what has defined Burnett's career is very different. He first made a name for himself in conflict zones, photographing struggle in Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Chile. And then there's his portrait work.
Profile picture of Bob.
This Toronto gallery is showing Burnett's collection of Bob Marley images.
I had to look at that story and try and find pictures in each of those situations that would make someone care about it half a world away. I'm perfectly happy that nobody knows that I shot something as long as they've connected with the picture.
It's the same goal he has for his work in Sochi, a photographer whose pictures tell a story in every language. Zula Kenethu, CBC News, Toronto.
The Lakehead University Thunderwolves hockey team are hosting another Jersey night this evening to raise money towards the fight against cancer. This year, all the funds raised are going to the Exceptional Cancer Care Fund. In past years, the night has focused on a preventative message about colorectal and prostate cancer. This year, the focus is to bring improved diagnosis, treatment, and research to the Cancer Center. Tonight, the Wolves will wear jerseys with purple butterflies on them, and those jerseys will be part of a silent auction during the first 2 periods of the game. There also is a special retro team signed jersey that will be available over eBay.
It's a great looking retro jersey that we're going to be going with this year that we'll let everyone see shortly. And we're excited about it. Our players love the night. A lot of the times you have our players even bidding up the jerseys because they want to keep them as well. So it's a great program. We're in, I think, year 6 or 7 with this, and we've raised close to $14,000 since we started this program, so we hope to continue with it.
There's also a text campaign that will run during the game where you can text HOPE to 20222 and make a $10 donation, with all the proceeds from the Jersey night going to Exceptional Cancer Care. So that is a pretty cool event happening tonight.
That's a great event, yeah. And I'm actually going to be at that game tonight for a little while anyway. I got to make a stop at the basketball games, but hopefully the Wolves can pull it out, unlike last night where unfortunately they fell just short. I'll have all the details coming up for you right after the break.
Now, it was an important night for the Thunderwolves a little bit last night.
Yeah, they're looking to stay near this top of the OUA West standings, and it's really gotten to that point in the season where every game is a big game, and they're looking to rebound after last night's tough loss to Ottawa. The Wolves fell 2 points out of first place, so tonight's game is a crucial one for Lakehead. Jeff Bosch brought an OUA West leading .940 save percentage into yesterday's contest against the GGs. Ottawa put that to the test early, though, as they came out firing. Already up 1-0, 4.5 minutes in. Matthew Guertin helps muscle Mitch Philman off the puck. It finds its way onto the stick of Matt White, who beats Bosch Glove's side with the quick wrister. 2-0 Ottawa just minutes into this hockey game. The Thunderwolves' power play has been dormant for the entire second half. It finally shows a sign of life here. Still in the first, there's a scramble in front. There's Cody Alcock left alone to bury his team-leading 13th. It's a one-goal game heading to the second. Lakehead's deficit could have been larger than that, however, if not for Bosch. They say your goalie has to be your best penalty killer. I don't know how the third-year netminder even sees this puck, but he does. It makes a fantastic catch to rob Patrick Burns of what looked like a sure power play goal. Unfortunately, though, on the very next play, Carson Dubček is called for the hook. That gives Ottawa a 5-on-3 advantage, and Matthew Leduc snaps home his third of the year, 3-1 GGs through 40 minutes. To the third, Thunderwolves with another power play. Oh my! Mike Quinnell launches an absolute missile. Lakehead's power play operating at just 12% coming in. They've got 2 with the man advantage here. 5 minutes later, Heath Grondin plays it ahead for Andrew Wilkins, who drops it off in front, and here comes the cavalry. They bang away at it. Wilkins tucks it in from behind the net just as the cage is jarred loose. That's a goal. We're tied at 3, and we're off to overtime. Lakehead with a couple of great chances in the extra frame, but nothing's resolved, so to a shootout we go. LU down 1-0. Andrew Wilkins shooting for the Wolves. He goes airborne, but the puck doesn't. More importantly, it stays out of the net. That brings up Rock Regimbald with the game on his stick. Scores. Ottawa escapes with the 4-3 win. Lakehead settles for the single point. Game 2 goes at 7:30 this evening. Meanwhile, over at the Fieldhouse, the men's basketball team couldn't match the first place Marauders as they fell 85-74. The Wolves trailed by 16 at the break. They cut the deficit to as little as 7 in the fourth quarter, but couldn't complete the comeback. Aaron Redpath led the way with 22 points for McMaster, while Taylor Black finished 1 point shy of a double-double. For the Wolves, Anthony McIntosh had 19 points. Dwayne Harvey added 17 to go along with 12 assists. They're back on the court tonight at 8 o'clock. Right after the women's game at 6, an important 2 points for Lakehead last night as they stifled McMaster 52-46. A strong all-around game for the Wolves' Jaleesa Williams. She did a little bit of everything. 15 points, 15 rebounds. She recorded 7 assists and also stole the ball 4 times. Haley Milligan with a double-double for the Marauders. A back-breaking loss for the women's volleyball team in Waterloo last night as they fell 3-2 to the Warriors. They can still mathematically make it to the postseason, but trail Brock by 4 points for that final playoff spot with just 3 games left to play. Sarah Reed and Jasmine Fox each with 14 points and 15 digs for Lakehead. The rematch goes this evening. Well, the Thunder Bay North Stars lost 4-1 in Fort Francis yesterday. Thunder Bay's Daniel Del Pagio put an end to Devin Tappenden's shutout bid midway through the third period. Del Pagio collected more league honors today as he was named the SIJHL Performer of the Month for the second consecutive time. The league's second youngest player had another stellar month, registering an incredible 27 points in just 12 games played. He notched at least a point in every one of those games, scoring 12 goals while doling out 15 assists. Del Pagio is riding a 21-game point streak. His 2.14 points per game average leads the SIJHL. He sits second overall in goals, assists, and points with 32, 45, and 77 respectively. The Stars posted an impressive 10-1, 0-1 record in games Del Pagio played in January. It's the third straight month that a North Stars player has been named the Performer of the Month. Del Pagio also won the title in December. Linemate Matthias Gardeman was November's top player. Well, 11 games in the NHL today, a few of which are already in the books. They needed overtime in Montreal with Tampa in town, tied at 1 in the extra frame when Nate Thompson beats Carey Price for the second time. Daniel Briere, the lone goal scorer for the Habs, who fall 2-1 to the Lightning. The Oilers went in search of their 4th straight win this afternoon. They were in Boston, already 2-0 for the Bruins, when Carl Soderberg wires a wrist shot over the glove hand of Ben Scrivens, who was coming off that record-setting 59-save performance Wednesday against San Jose. Didn't quite look the same here, though. 3-0 Bruins. Rookie defenseman Torrey Krug's 12th of the season makes it 4-0 on the power play. Boston scored 3 in the third to cruise past the Oilers 4-0. Elsewhere, Colorado trounced Buffalo 7-1. Philly edged the Kings 2-0. Well, for the first time ever, a Saskatchewan boy will be playing in the Super Bowl. The Regina-born punter says his family is his biggest inspiration. As Bonnie Allen reports, the Ryans are taking his professional football career personally.
Here comes Uncle John back.
Uncle John is coming onto the field.
It will be John Ryan's first Super Bowl, but his nieces and nephews have played out his victory over and over again.
Uncle John lost his arm. How's he going to punt?
The 32-year-old punter is known for his booming right leg and sometimes his hair, but he is humble and shy. His family is anything but. In this video tribute to John, the Ryans show their unabashed pride. His path to the Super Bowl started when he was just a kid outside their front door.
Once he started playing football, he'd play with all the neighborhood kids. The other kids would come in, they'd be tired of it. He never got tired of it.
I think a big part of it is our parents. We had these parents that just said, shoot for the stars. You can do anything you want to do. You're awesome.
From the University of Regina to the CFL, the Ryans faithfully cheered him on, even when he played for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Sacrilegious for a Saskatchewan boy. Then he signed with the Green Bay Packers in 2006. But that same year, his father Bob was dying of cancer. He made it to one game.
We got to go right on the field and see John before the game, and I remember my dad saying for that one day he didn't have cancer. There was no talk of cancer, there was no talk of medication. That day was just about football and celebration.
And ever since, the Ryans have had family dinner every Sunday to watch John play.
Football has been our thing that helped us get through my dad's passing. Every Sunday we got to sit down together and watch John play and just forget about, the sadness.
Their support is appreciated by John, who tweets, "This is why my family is my biggest inspiration. 15 of them will be at the big game."
This is unbelievable. It's a check off the bucket list for me going to the game, let alone for John playing in the game.
The family's excitement has caught on. A Seattle Seahawks flag has been raised here at Regina City Hall to honor the first player from Saskatchewan to be in a Super Bowl. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Regina.
So Seattle's taking on Denver, obviously, in that big game tomorrow. I'm putting you on the spot, Courtney. Who's going to win? I want a prediction from you.
I can't even give you a prediction because
Oh, come on.
I'm going to go with Seahawks.
I'm going to say Denver.
All right, well, this is going to be a competition. We'll have to see who wins this tomorrow. And switching gears, we will have all your weather details next. Now, as you could tell in that last segment, I'm obviously a huge NFL fan. But what I'm even bigger fan of is some warm weather. So before we get to that, our temperatures, let's take a look across the country. Currently at this hour, Vancouver 3 and cloud, Prince George -15, some cloud and a little bit of flurry, Edmonton -10, Calgary -10, Saskatoon -12, Regina -15, moving into Manitoba -21 and clear skies, Churchill -22 and some flurries, Sault Ste. Marie -10, Toronto -0 and some snow, Ottawa -5, Quebec City -5 and some cloud. And as we move east, Fredericton 0, Halifax 0 with some clouds, Charlottetown -5 and St. John's -6. As we take a look into the region, -29 in Red Lake and Kenora, Dryden, Sioux Lookout -28, -27 in Pickle Lake, Big Trout Lake, always cold, -32, Greenstone -26, Marathon -23. And as we look into the temperatures tomorrow, it is going to get a little bit warmer, -15, Kenora, Red Lake, and Dryden. Sioux Lookout -16, Pickle Lake -16, -18 in Big Trout Lake, Greenstone, Armstrong -15. Currently at this hour, we're sitting at -12. We'll see periods of light snow moving into the evening when traveling from the southeast direction at 6 kilometers an hour. And as we look into tonight, -21, partly cloudy and 60% chance of snow later into this evening and into the morning when traveling at from the west-southwest direction at 11 kilometers an hour. As we look at our 5-day extended forecast, Sunday mainly sunny and 12, Monday -8 and sunny, partly cloudy on Tuesday -13, Wednesday -13, chance of snow, and Thursday mainly clear at -15. But I'm going to say it's safe to assume you won't even be checking out that weather tomorrow. You've got a big game.
Not at all.
Big game of sports on
I will
tomorrow.
not see the outside. Well, I guess on my way to work.
True.
But
after that,
once
it's
the game
indoors.
starts, no, I won't.
Makes sense.
I won't be paying attention to the weather. I did notice that we're creeping up towards some seasonal values.
I know.
Though. That's nice.
About
to see
time.
after
I'm ready
about a
for
month
it.
and a half.
Yeah, that is true. Well, that's all the time we have. We'll see you next time.